People. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening, March 22nd edition of Road to Success, where we'll be talking with Valerie Licata about all things MemberHub. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce the members of the Executive Committee and Board of Directors who are on tonight's call. I'm going to go in the order that you appear on my screen, so please bear with me. I see Melanie Williams, our secretary.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you.
Karen Mazzola, our Vice President for Educational Development.
Hello, welcome.
Maxine Lures, our President-elect.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Jude Bruno, Treasurer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Kay Hawkins, President of Duval County Council.
Good evening, everyone.
Melanie Gamble, President of Escambia County Council.
Good evening, everybody.
And that's it right now for Executive Committee and Board of Directors members. We're so glad that you, our local unit leaders, found it appropriate to join us to ask some questions and get some answers and get some hands-on training about MemberHub. Valerie graciously agreed to our request that came in at the 11th hour and made time in her schedule to join us this evening. Without further ado, Valerie Licata from MemberHub.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. And of course, if I can squeeze it in, I'll always say yes. I don't know that little pesky 2-letter word that starts with an N. So I see a couple of familiar names on here. Hi, Mel. Hi, Rula. I've worked with you guys before with MemberHub. So happy to see you guys here and chatting about MemberHub. And in particular, we're going to start with membership imports. But as always, I'm a big fan of interactive workshops. So please feel free to ask any question MemberHub related, but we are going to start with membership imports, making sure that we get all the credit for all of our amazing members. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I've pulled up just our test unit. So you'll see some funky things in here. Kind of don't pay attention to that. This is kind of a place for us to go and play. But the steps are still the same. So when you are not selling membership or you've sold membership outside of your MemberHub store, this isn't the way in which it's proper to add in your memberships. So you're going to come on over here to the membership module and then click Manage Members. If you are just adding in if you're just adding in a couple of members, maybe you took a couple of cash or check payments, you were at the soccer game, someone handed you, $5, $10, you're ready to do it. You can just go ahead and use the Add Cash Check Member. You will need to select the type of membership that they purchased. This will look different or potentially look different from unit to unit, but you'll just select the one that they purchased and then you'll fill out all the information. So you do not need to it does not require a check number. Even if it's cash, sometimes I just put in the word cash. It's just for record keeping. You'll select what type of member they are. That will be the Florida PTA types like parent or student or grandparent or business or other. And then you'll put in all of the information that you are required to accept and then any additional information that you have set up in your MemberHub membership. So the required information is first name, last name, one piece of contact for an adult member. That could be either email or phone number, their member, and then of course their membership type. You can ask for additional information in your MemberHub store and add in additional information. And if there's any questions about that or further clarification, we can go over that as well. But that's how you simply add a, one-off cash check member. If you want to do an import, you've sold quite a few and you're ready to import all of your members, you can do the import members. You're going to download this template, fill it out completely, and I'm going to show that template here in a minute. Then you're going to, when you're ready and you have all the information filled out, you're going to select both of these. You're going to enter in your initials to confirm, and then you're going to add that CSV file and import. And it's just like that. You've now added all of your members. This is what the import tool looks like. It's just that basic information that we're looking for that is required, right? So first name, last name, email, or phone number is required for adult memberships. You do not have to have a piece of contact information for student memberships. Though Karen made the great point at the earlier workshop that if you don't have a contact information for your student member, then they're also not getting your emails. So if you do have student members, it is still a good idea to get their email so that way you can communicate with them. And it is the way that they are going to get their membership card. So we will go over how you can get someone's membership card for them if you do not have an email for them. But when you add it, whether it's through import, through the MemberHub store, or just adding that one-off cash and check, the email receipt does include their membership card. The member type, again, is that membership type, whatever it is called in your MemberHub store. Individual, parent, guardian, business, grandparent, student, that is your membership type. It needs to match what is in your MemberHub store. That's really, really important. And then your school year ending. So for the 22-23 school year, all of my imports are going to say 22-23, just like this. If it's next year and I'm importing, then I'm going to say 22-24 because the school year is ending in 2024. Oh my God. I just like skyrocketed us 200 years. I don't want to live another 200 years. That's way too long. Any questions about the data that's needed to import your members or how to fill it out? Okay. So, oh, Erica, it's like you had your hand raised.
Hi, Valerie. Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
You know,
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. I actually had a lot of help with, I don't know, for some reason the camera doesn't show me. Anyhow, the information that you mentioned is pretty, pretty simple, but is it possible that I can email you later for one-on-one assistance with that? Because we have a bunch of membership we haven't been able to load properly into the database. I want to take care of your presentation, but I just want to know who can I request assistance from, either you or they gave me the name of some lady called Melanie, but I don't know who is the right person to reach out to.
I don't know if maybe it was Melanie Williams. I'm sure she's no, it wasn't you. We also have a Melanie that works with MemberHub, so it could have been the wonderful Melanie Williams or the equally wonderful Melanie at MemberHub. So yes, you can absolutely reach out to me and I can assist you with that.
Okay. Are you going to and how can I get your email?
So Carolyn actually just put my one-on-one meeting link in the chat. So thank you so much,
Yes.
Carolyn. And you can go ahead and select that and we can get it together. And I'll
Awesome.
type it.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So after you've got it all filled out, you just import it and you're good to go. Some of the things that came up in the last call that are just good to notes to point, if there's any data that is for whatever reason just not uploading, there are certain characters that are not able to enter, like characters like an E with an apostrophe over it, or the Enya over an N, those sorts of things, those characters will get kicked back. So if you have any of those characters, or for whatever reason, anything else that just won't go through on your import, there is a screen that pops right up that says, hey, these are the records that we accepted. These are the records that we did not. And when you click on that, it will give you that report of those records that were unable to be uploaded. Okay. That's the exciting thing of importing members. Then if you do want to, for whatever, we'll say this person right here, they do not have an email. Fakey McFakerson, very, very fancy guy over here. He needs his membership card and we don't have his email, so he didn't get an email to him. So I can click view membership card. I can then pop out that link. And you can see that Fakey McFakerson with their unit name and ID has a unique link. So I'll just copy that link and email that to Mr. McFakerson. And then he has his membership card. Or print it out. You can also do that, of course, too. Were there any other questions about how to make sure that members were uploaded or how to do that? Awesome.
I don't see any hands right now, and there are no questions in the chat.
Awesome. Well, I am here as a resident MemberHub expert, in quotes. So if there's any other MemberHub questions, I'm happy to answer those.
So one thing I'd like to share, Valerie, was with the potential membership increase that is being considered at the national level. There was a little bit of back and forth originally about offering local units offering the 23-24 memberships. But we have since learned that the effective date, should the membership increase actually go through, will not be until October 1st. So we, Florida PTA, actually notified MemberHub to go ahead and put the
Turn on
possibility
advantage.
when the time is right, put the possibility for 23-24 memberships into the system so that our local units could go ahead and get a jump on sending those in prior to any potential increase in the amount that has to be deducted for state and national dues.
That is great news. I know that Mel and Carolyn that is going to be music to their ears specifically. We just chatted about that last week. So when did you, that hadn't made its way down to me yet. So.
Okay, that was at least a week ago,
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. So sell. Get through this year first, because we need, our membership chair is not on with us. But we're now working on our stretch goal for Florida PTA, which is 192,000 members. We're just over 175,000 right now. So go out, talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, talk to community members and business partners about who has not joined for this year yet. Now's the perfect time to get them engaged and involved, especially if they're coming to Leadership Convention. They'll want to take advantage of that membership rate versus the non-member rate. So go out there and let them know the benefits of joining PTA and why they should be engaged.
Absolutely. Is there any other MemberHub related questions or membership questions?
Hi, Valerie, and hi, Caroline. This is Lorna. Can you hear me well?
I
Yes.
will, yes.
All right, perfect. Regarding the increase, would you please talk more about it? We don't know anything about it. Can you please let us know? Thank you very much.
Certainly. If you visit the National PTA website, under their convention, not leadership convention, their annual convention for 2023, which will be virtual. So if you have a line item, you can send more people than you originally planned. They do talk about the potential increase, the reason for it, the effective date, and they have a list of frequently asked questions for members. They are anticipating an increase of $1.75 additional going to National PTA, which would make the portion from the state, from the local unit dues that goes to national $4. So I suggest you check out the website for National RULA and see all of the information that they have there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
If they join, you were talking about going ahead and selling the memberships. If they join, will that last until the following school year?
Are you talking about memberships that are sold right now, Martha?
No. Well, that would, if you're selling prior to the the price increase, Would that be effective for the 22-23? I mean, 23-24 school year?
Yes, if you go ahead when it opens up in MemberHub, if you sell 23-24 memberships, they are good for the entire year. You simply will not be obligated to forward the increased amount.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So this is a good idea to get our membership goal all taken care of in September between April and September of this year. So, but first let's deal with this year and meet our stretch goal of 192,000.
Absolutely. If you need to know how to remit your state dues, so a couple of things happen automatically when you either have someone purchase membership through your MemberHub store or you import them. It happens the same way for both, that your state dues, your state and national dues, I should say, are calculated. And so but you still need to hit the button to pay them. So you're going to come over here to remit state dues. There will be a button that says pay by ACH, and you'll select that. So you can see here that in this pretend unit, we owe the Wisconsin PTA $105 for the new 20 members that we received this year. This does, keep track of what from the time that you paid last to the amount of members that you got, from that date forward. And so you are not double paying or anything like that. Though you can always send an extra donation to Florida PTA. I'm sure they'll be happy to cash your check. But it will just allow you to pay online. It does cost $1. And once you enter in your ACH payment or ACH information the first time, it saves for there on out. It's a lot simpler than trying to find the stamp and a double signer, and you can be more timely and you can win awards, and Carolyn can meet her stretch goal, and it'll be so fun.
So that page, before you leave that page,
Sure.
Valerie,
Mm-hmm.
the second portion of that, if you happen to be a local unit who has entered members and officers for last year and not yet paid that, you'll see that it pops up there, and you'll be required to pay that and any members that you enter for this year as well. Thank you, Valerie.
Of course. Well, I really want us to spend some more time together, so I hope somebody has at least one MemberHub question for me. Mel, that's a great question. I saw your question in the chat. This was the October date was the first I've heard of it just now as well. So I am unsure, and I will email you once I chat with the powers that be at MemberHub.
As far as I know, it's after this membership year cutoff for counting members for this year. So it should be sometime in April.
Okay. And I know in the past we've opened it in March, so that's why I was like, oh.
Sorry to bother you, but I was in just a little bit late. You were talking about cash payment and for members that didn't send in a contact information, but they want their card. You said there was a way you could go and do that. Could you please explain that again, please?
Sure, absolutely. So you're going to come over here to manage members. You'll find the person, that you're looking for. We're going to give it again to Mr. McFakerson. You're going to click view card. You're then going to select link. And then you can either decide to copy the URL and email it to them. You can print out this page and give it to them. Any one of those ways will work.
Thank you. They're one of our Hispanic families, and it's hard to communicate. So at least that would let me print it out to give it to them.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. We could talk about other things than just members in MemberHub.
No questions, no hands. Wow. Oh, there's Melanie. Save the day, Melanie.
I'm sorry. During the 12 12 o'clock hour, you said you could reorder the items in your store, but if you have product fundraisers, those are always going to be on top, right? They're very annoying because I can't get my auction on top of the product
You
fundraiser.
can, if you want to feature product fundraisers,
Mm.
they are going to be at the top. But if you don't want to feature product fundraisers, you simply come over to fundraising. You go to manage.
Want them, I just don't want them at the top all the time, but there's no way to get
You
them.
can
away.
definitely, yeah, you can unfeature. It's what we call it featuring them. So you
Okay.
come to manage existing product fundraisers and you simply uncheck unfeature in the store. You click the 3 dots. They changed it on me. I haven't been in here in a minute. So you click the 3 dots and you unfeature it from the store. So like now when I do this, woo, it's going to unfeature them. There's 4. So if you have more than 4 selected, you'll need to make sure that, or there's 4 spots. So if you've more than 4 selected, you'll need to make sure that you've unselected all of them.
Okay,
But that's how you remove them and then they go away.
you're going to be my new best friend. Let me go try it. now.
We're already best friends, Melanie. Come on now.
I'm going to try it right now. Thanks.
So we do have a couple of hands now, and fortunately, the first hand I see is someone with the beautiful name of Carolyn.
Hello.
Hey, Carolyn, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Long time no talk.
I know, right? So I just actually walked in from the airport. So I logged in and then I had to walk out of the room for a minute and then I heard our names being called. So I think what you were saying was that we can accept the memberships for at some point for next year.
Yeah,
that
Carolyn was
correct? Okay.
explaining. Yeah, Carolyn was
All right.
explaining that.
Okay.
The
And-
23, 24 memberships.
Correct.
If the National PTA requested increase does pass, will not be effective until October 1st.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. And then my other question would be with Valerie that we had just set up a sample bundle that would include 2 memberships and let's say a spirit shirt or something. And the way we set it up with Valerie was it was under products versus membership. Does that matter? Is it?
Yeah, with this new information, which Carolyn was, thank you, Carolyn. I had no idea. With this new information, we are going to want to set up that differently. You are going to
Okay.
want to set that up in membership. And I just don't have a specific date for when the 23-24 membership will be turned on, but I will contact you and Mel.
Okay, that would be great. And then my other thing is just a comment. We ended our raffle that you helped set up for us. It's the first time we've ever done a raffle. We made just over $4,500. We did get some physical donations, but I mean, it was amazing. And it was $4,500 that we didn't have, otherwise. So thank you so much for helping us. And I definitely recommend it to anyone. I mean, we only had 5 donations, and it was definitely worth it going the raffle route versus an auction.
I'm glad to hear that you guys had such a good success. They had some families, some supporters who work for JetBlue, and they were able to give away free JetBlue tickets. So they had really great item to win. So I'm glad that it was a success, and I appreciate that.
It did. And so word of mouth gets around because we had just launched the raffle. And we happened to have a General Assembly meeting right after that. And so I was just telling everyone, hey, we're having, this raffle. And one of the parents that was there said, I can help you out. I can give you Yankees versus Marlins tickets that I have seats to in August. So he threw those in. That's how I got more donations. And then we had one of our business partners there just answering questions after the meeting. And he was with like an SAT test prep company. He said, well, I'll throw in 2 seats for our next workshop. So it was awesome. So like word of mouth gets around and there are a lot of people that want to help. So yeah, just positive news to share.
That's great, Carolyn.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a lot of success.
We have another hand, Melanie Gamble.
Hi, I just wanted to share some information. I had contacted MemberHub and was shown how to export all my members in the county in my local units all 2,600 plus, we're small. And I didn't know if anybody else knew about that. It prints it out and you can sort it. It has a date and time stamp of when they bought the membership. So I just want to make sure people knew about it because I didn't.
Yeah, so there are a lot. I know that we have more than we have some local unit leaders as well as council leaders. The reporting and MemberHub for council leaders and of course at the state level are really great. You can export all of your members and for all of your units and you know, get some information on membership that way. You also get a snapshot of members kind of on a dashboard, and council leaders can reach out to me too. We can chat. I can show you guys some things, and state leaders of course as well. So yeah, that's great, Melanie. I'm glad that you were able to figure that out.
Welcome to our newcomers, people who were just able to join us. We are fortunate to have with us this evening Valerie Licata from MemberHub, taking your MemberHub questions, talking about uploading your members into MemberHub and all things MemberHub related. Valerie, if we don't have any questions right now, could you show us your resource bank and tell us a little bit about what's there?
Absolutely. So our resource page, as we call it, our support page, is support.memberhub.com, and it is all things that you can figure out, right? So if you wanted to know things about memberships or the online store or utilizing the website builder or looking into some fundraising or communications, you can click on those categories. You can also use the search. So when you click, maybe you were trying to figure out how to sort something, you can go over here and you can look around and go, oh, how to sort products in your store. And you can say, oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. You can click that. And the support article that follows does take you straight through by through. This one's a short one, but it does take you through with screenshots. Some of them even have videos. Sometimes you might hear a familiar voice, a nice little squeaky voice, and in those videos, but this is a great resource for anything, quick question, or maybe you're doing PTA things at night like I do, and it's like 2 in the morning, you're like, they're not going to answer my email fast enough because it's 2 in the morning, and this is the time I had. This is a great resource for you guys to go and take a look first. And if you still can't figure it out, of course, you can always reach out to support@memberhub.com or myself, which is just my first name last name @memberhub.
Valerie, earlier there was a question, I think it was from Melanie, about keeping track of inventory in your online store.
Yeah.
Is there possible for you to cover that again?
Absolutely. That's a great feature that is really fantastic, especially if you're selling in multiple ways, like you're selling online, you're selling in person, you're doing cash and check. It's a great way for you to keep your inventory straight on that wonderful spiritware that we like to proudly display. So you're going to come to your store management and you're going to, during your product setup, say that you have inventory. When you have inventory, it will ask you to enter in those varieties. So for example, it's going to, this one only has size shirts. It doesn't have color and size, but if it did, it would allow me to put in like, you know, like let's say I just had black and white shirts, right? So it would allow me to put in how many black adult large shirts I have, how many white adult large shirts I have. And the inventory does automatically adjust when someone purchases either online or through our swiper device for in-person payments. Now, if you do a cash or check, or like maybe you're selling things through flyers, that sort of thing, you know, write-ins, you can manually adjust. As you can see here, like I can go, okay, actually I need to adjust it by 1 because I sold 1 large shirt. You can manually adjust, or you can add it in as a cash check purchase, which is really great for treasurers. They like that. They like everything in one spreadsheet. And it will indicate whether it was a cash check payment or an online payment or a MemberHub swiper payment. And actually, I'll show you how you can look at that as well. So when you go to review your orders, you can actually go by payment method. So if I want to see how much I sold by cash, how much I sold by check, how much I sold by credit card would be online store, and then MH Pay is the swiper. So you can actually filter all of your payouts that way as well, or not your payouts, but your orders that way as well. And you can do multiple things. So like if you wanted to see like for this particular product, you know, the logo mask, I want to apply that. And I only want the people who sold online mask in person, right? I only want to know what the cash was. You have the ability to do multiple filters, excuse me. But yep, inventory is great.
Thank you. I actually had a question come to me in the chat.
Sure.
As elections are coming up and officers will change, can you share with us how to change Stripe ownership from the previous treasurer to the new treasurer?
That is what our handy dandy support center is for. So you'll want to go to online store, Stripe, and I think it's this one. Oh, no, this one's literally telling you how to change the bank information, but how to change the owner of your Stripe account. I'm not going to be able to demonstrate it in a way because then that would mess some things up for us. But I'll go ahead and put this in the chat so you'll have a good, easy access to it. But this will walk you through how to do that. It does just change like basically who's in charge of it, right? Just like going to change your bank signer. When you go to the bank at the end of the year, it just changes who's in charge of it. It doesn't change the bank information. So you don't have to be worried about missing any payments or your store site going down or anything like that. It literally just changes the ownership.
So that was in the support center under online payments.
Yep. And then it's how to change the owner of your Stripe account.
And that's on the left-hand side in the menu articles in this section.
And you could search it too. I just went kind of a longer way about doing it.
All right, we do have a hand up from Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Valerie. I just had a question. So yes, this is how you change it, but what happens if we come to a point where when they can't change it? Is there like can they reach out to you? Do they reach out to the state? Who do they reach out to say, hey, this treasure is gone. It was never changed at the beginning of the year. What do I do now?
Yeah, we definitely have some ghosting situations, unfortunately, where the treasurer kind of, isn't responsive and that sort of thing. So you can reach out to support@memberhub.com. It's not a cut and dry situation. Sometimes it's as simple as resetting the account, which is something that the support center can do. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult because there's money pending. And if we reset it, then those funds, it just makes it complicated for those funds. So I always say that to reach out to support if that is the case. Again, it's just support@memberhub.com. They are experts at it and they will walk you through that process. Sometimes, like I said, it's just as easy as a click of a button. Sometimes it's a little bit more complicated because of pending funds.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely not something you guys need to be worried about. That's definitely our burden to carry. So you just send them on over.
We have Melanie with a question.
I was just going to comment that I recently had to do that very thing with money pending. And the pending had been going on since 2019. I actually had to be sent to support at Stripe to get that and work with the current treasurer. It was quite an ordeal, but we were successful finally.
Yeah, it's always best, obviously, to have an easy transition. But I think that a lot of us here have been in the PTA game long enough to know that that's not always the case, whether you're taking electronic payments or not. But there is a process, and sometimes that process does take a little longer, but I'm glad you guys got through it.
And MemberHub and Stripe were fantastic through the whole ordeal. So.
I'm glad. Yeah, we're usually
Appreciate it.
on top of it. We want to make sure everybody gets their, their funds and stuff like that. And stuff happens.
Yeah, the local unit was very happy finally.
Yes, I'm sure they were.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's a great question, Carolyn. So when you are ready to enter in a cash or check option, what you're going to do, I know it's going to sound a little weird, but this is the way that you do it. You're going to go to your store and you're going to pretend to buy that item because you logged in as an admin. Get this great little option down here. So, you know, you're going to I'm just going to pick some things to get the item in my cart. And then I'm going to add that. Oh, of course, that item is out of stock. All right, well, now let's see. Okay, well, now I'm going to have to pick a different item. This is what happens when, you know what, I'm just going to skip ahead. This is what happens when people are playing around in here and then you never know what's really going on. I'm going to pick this one. Okay, so now that I've got my item in my cart, because I'm logged in as an admin, I get this cute little button over here that says record cash check payment. Your regular schmegular person does not see this. I promise you, they're not going to be able to enter in cash check payment on their own. They are only going to see the information where they can enter in their credit card. But because you are logged in as an admin, you simply click that button and you say it is cash. You click next. You complete the order and it does fall into your review orders. If you selected cash, it actually gives you a spot to put in a check number. Again, this is just for record keeping. It is not processing that check or anything like that. That's a great question.
I'm looking for hands over the chat. Don't see anything right now.
If you guys do want to take in-person payments and you want it to be credit, we do have a swiper device. So it's tap, it's, you know, you can literally swipe, you can do the chip, you can do all those things on the swiper device. And you have two functions on the app. One is a mimic of your online store. So this is great for when you want to sell, you know, you want to grab that person with that membership right now, right? They're like, oh, I have to, and they're like, oh, I don't want to fill it all out, you know, or they're being silly or something like that. You go, okay, no problem, I got you, right? And so you'll fill out all the information. They can tap their card, purchase their membership, and it does add in just like they bought it online. So no any additional work on your guys's part. And if it is a t-shirt, your inventory is staying correct. So that's function number one. It does mimic your online store. Function number two is what we call quick payment. So that's great for like the concession stands and things like that, where you can just be like, okay, you got one hot dog, one soda, one bag of chips. That's $10. And then you just type in 10, they charge it, and move on. Kimberly, there is a cost for the swiper device. It is $67 shipped to you. And if you know people, sometimes they give them to you for free. Any other MemberHub related questions? Anything at all?
So is everybody a little bit more comfortable than they were when we started about putting in your members, about changing your Stripe accounts, about checking your inventory? Do you know a little bit more than when you started? Give me some sort of reaction using one of your reactions.
No, Melanie, but
thumbs
I'll
up.
go with one this
Lots
weekend.
of thumbs up. All right. Well, I'm glad to see that people are better informed than when we started, because that's the purpose of Road to Success.
For
Thank
sure.
you. There's a question from Melanie. Do we all get a $5 Starbucks coupon? I don't know what that's about.
Oh, so we sometimes do promotions that if you have a meeting with one of us, then you get a $5 Starbucks gift card. So the promotion is not currently running, Melanie, but if I'm going to see you this weekend, you can text me your Starbucks order. I'll be happy to grab you one.
It's right there on your screen. Get a latte on us.
Oh, that's right.
It is right on my screen. So that is if you book a fundraising, if the conversation is going to be about fundraising and you guys have any fundraising needs this spring, then yeah, absolutely. You get a latte.
All righty. I don't see any other hands. I don't see any questions. Wait, here's a question. All right, there is a question. Does Stripe accept Apple Pay?
So when we say Apple Pay, it can mean two things, right? Sometimes it's like, hey, do you take like when I have my credit card stored in my phone, that's Apple Pay, right? And I can tap. Yes, of course. When we're talking about Apple Pay, like transferring money, like a Venmo or something along those lines, then it's a no. So if it's Apple Pay where they have it connected to a card, and like I set it up for my son that way, it looks like a card in the wallet and they can spend that way. Yes. Absolutely.
Mel, does that answer your question? Perhaps they're not able to come off mute right now.
She wrote out yes.
Oh, yes, she is. All right. Any other questions? Concerns, things that we can cover?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer anything. Carolyn gave me some information today that I'm really excited about. I'm going to go bother somebody about. But I'm happy to do anything. All right, cool.
So since I'm not seeing anything else, thank you once again, Valerie, for agreeing to join us on short notice and for providing valuable information to our county councils and our local units, as well as those members of the EC and our office staff who are here. I'd like to remind everyone of a few events that are coming up. Oh, there is a question. I'm going to do the events that are coming up because it's very timely. The person wants to know how to enter events into the MemberHub calendar. So as soon as we're done, I'll ask you to share that, Valerie. We have coming up this weekend, Florida PTA's Legislative Conference, which will be held in Tallahassee, March 26th through 28th. I hope to see many of you there. Almost immediately after that, April 14th is the kickoff of our centennial celebration in Orlando at the state office, where we'll have an open house with a movie, which I'm very excited that our president-elect has arranged for us, pizza, an opportunity to meet our executive committee, our board of directors, our office staff, to tour the office, especially if you've not been there before, and a couple of fun activities for those who attend. The very next day, April 15th, we'll have our fundraising centennial luncheon at the Second Harvest Food Bank, where we'll have student performances and get to know one another a little bit more while learning the history of PTA, where we are now, and where we are going as an association. Soon after that, on May 6th, also in Orlando, we'll have our very first reflection ceremony face-to-face where we can celebrate our children, get those pictures that parents and family members love in front of that step and repeat once they've received their awards. That will be held in Orlando, and we hope that you will check out the email that you probably received already today about reflections and register and join us, especially if your child is a winner. And of course, the very biggest, best thing coming up is our leadership convention, which will take place July 13th through 16th in Orlando at the Champions Gate Resort. It will be great. We have our very own building this year, an internet cafe, different setups for our workshops, and great workshops as usual. I can't wait to see you all there. But in the interim, since we're talking about events, let's go back to Valerie so she can show and tell us how to set up your events in your MemberHub.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to enter an event in your calendar, I did add that support article into the chat so you can take a look at those step-by-steps. But briefly, you're going to come to your calendar. You're going to create a new event. You're going to name it. So that's what I'm naming it. And then you can give it a description. Just going to do a little copy and paste. Well, that works too. And then you are going to add the event to the organization calendar. If you click that you also are making it a public event, then you can get RSVPs from those who, how do I say it? Okay, let me say it this way. So in order to RSVP without this being selected, the person receiving the invite would have to have a MemberHub login. If you select public event, then someone without a MemberHub login may RSVP to the event. You're then going to do same, picking the day and time. And you can decide if it repeats or not, it's just a regular kind of calendar kind of things. And then you can also decide if you want to remind everyone a day before the event, hours before the event, minutes before the event. So you get to set those reminders as well. These are email reminders. And then of course you get to add in the location of your event. And you can decide who you want this event to go out to. So it does add it to the calendar, and it also emails everyone in your contact list or everyone who you've decided it can go to. So you can send it to everyone. You can send it to specific people, hubs, roles, and we can get into kind of the contact management if you want to book a one-on-one about what exactly those things mean. But you send it, in general, you'd probably want to send it to everybody. And so now everybody's going to get that. Hey, guess what? Valerie just added that Florida PTA is the best PTA because it's true. And that calendar event is happening on March 24th. They're going to get that email. Then if I set that reminder, they're going to get that email. And then if they ever log into MemberHub to view the calendar, they'll see that there too. And if you're using the website builder and using the events page, they'll see it there.
Thank you, Valerie. Before I go to Carolyn's question, there's a question in the chat about the recordings for tonight's Road to Success. All Road to Success recordings are placed on the Florida PTA website under the Road to Success tab. You will not only be able to view tonight's recording, but all recordings for the sessions that we've had this year. I invite you to go back there because there's some great sessions with really good information, especially now that our local units and county councils will be hosting their election meetings and nominating committees should have been elected. I really invite you to go back and check out the articles, the recordings that are already there. This recording should be up within the next 2 days.
Oh, that's a quick turn.
Carolyn?
Yes, thank you. Excuse me. So I did not know that we could do this. So I'm learning something new again. Would you use this for, like, we have a Zoom meeting coming up with our membership. Can you use it for that? Or is this just for in-person meetings or events? Or it could be anything. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when it gets sent out, does it appear as just an email notification to the members?
Oh, let's send it to me.
Okay. I'm just curious because this is awesome. Actually, we use the newsletters a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have a lot of events at our school. So sometimes I think people don't really read through it. I used the message feature recently just to send a quick email to some of our members. And I actually got like responses from it. Whereas our newsletters, I don't necessarily get any kind of reaction. So
there is no reply on newsletters. There's only reply on messages. So that's
okay. So if I wanted to remind them of an event, we have like a free seminar with one of our business partners coming to the school. It might be better to do it through the messages tab so it comes as an email.
So this will also come as an email and they can actually RSVP. So obviously it doesn't hold anybody to it, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not like going to be like, well, you RSVP'd, yes, so you have to be here. But sometimes it's really nice to know like a roundabout number.
Yeah.
We're expecting about 100 people, that sort of thing. So this allows you to kind of get that like, yes, no, maybe, kind of response. The messages, it's up to you if you want to do both, they'll get double email. So that's your call. I'm not afraid to contact people. I will contact people multiple times, multiple ways. It does not scare me to contact people multiple times, but some might err on the side of caution.
No, I do like this feature and I like that you can get the RSVPs. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can send with an invite or without sending invites. Invites mean that they get the emails. So we're going to send it with the email. So I'll go ahead and do that and then give me a moment to pull up that email so you can see what it looks like. And no one say anything about what my inbox looks like, okay? Because then we're gonna
I certainly won't.
Because then we're gonna have some problems. So it looks just like this. It says what the event is. It has all the information I put into it. So if you have a link, you can add the link in there. It's not a clickable link, but oh wait, yes it is. It is clickable when I move it to the right spot. So it is a clickable link. And then you can decide, yes, I am going to attend. And then how many of you are going to attend? Me. And so now I can see that I have a yes.
That's great. Thank you. I will use that for our next event because that's great to have and get an idea of how many people might show up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. You're welcome. And sometimes it's nice to not send an invite, in the sense that like, you want to maybe just, you're using the website builder and you just want to have things out there like it's no school Friday, right? Or something like that. And so you just want it on your calendar view, but you don't necessarily need to send an invite to everybody to RSVP to no school on Friday. But it is, so, you can kind of, go about it that way. Decide what needs an invite and what doesn't.
Valerie, we have a question about MemberHub in different languages, in particular Spanish, in the calendar.
So there's a couple of ways to go about it when it comes to being bi or tri or I don't know, whatever, quadruple languaged in your school. You can decide to add things in English and in Spanish. So you could do multiple events, one in English, one in Spanish. You could do translation next to each other. The most efficient way, in my opinion, is just allowing people to change their browser to their language of choice. And so in my newsletters, I have that, like I say, hey, if you're using Chrome, this is how you change the language in your browser. So then the browser itself translates the whole website.
And that would be the calendar included.
Yeah, it translates any web. Google does it for us. The geniuses at Google, they have figured it out and they will, the whole browser. So any website that you're on, it will translate to your language of choice.
Martha, does that answer your question? Is Martha still with us? Yes, she is. Martha, does that answer your question? Yes, she does. Thank you. All right. Any other questions?
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate everyone.
I appreciate you all being here, especially those of you who saw fit to come back and ask additional questions that are helpful for all of us to know about MemberHub. Join us next week for another episode of Road to Success. Thanks again for being here. I'll see some of you. I'm sorry, there will not be Road to Success next weekend because we'll be in Tallahassee, some of us, and coming back from Tallahassee. So the week after. I look forward to seeing some of you in Tallahassee starting this weekend. And those of you who can't join us there, keep an eye out for updates about what's going on with the legislative session and how you can be engaged as a servant leader and advocate. Until then, take good care. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.